Sparking Change with Gigi, a show that aims to make the world a better place by bringing together authentic minds. This show encourages each of us to be the change we wish to see in the world. Get ready to be inspired and join us on this journey to create a brighter future for all.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sparking Change with Gigi. Today's show, I'm so excited to bring to you one of my favorite young men who's going to tell us his story about how he went from self-doubt to self-belief, and how it changed his life totally when he took on this journey of truly putting all his faith and belief in himself. And he has a remarkable story that I'd like him to share with us. And I'm going to welcome Lucas to the stage. Hi, Lucas. How are you?
Hi, Giovanna. I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much. I feel very, very honored to be here, and it's such a pleasure. Thank you so much.
We are honored to have you here. Lucas, your story is amazing. And, I thought, why not share your story with the world? Because there's so many young people out there that are probably going through the same thing that you've gone through. And so your story is going to
Mhm.
be so inspirational. I feel it in my heart, and I want you to share. So just tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from, and the stage is yours.
Yeah, thank you. So I grew up where I am now in the country. I grew up in Switzerland, uh, and I grew up in an environment that was very, very poor. Um, I I was, I would say, one of the kids that were different. I got bullied there, and I always wanted to go to my teacher and wanted to get safety. But my my teacher didn't seem to understand me. So I always wanted to get understood by the other people because I didn't understand what was going on with me.
Yeah.
Because I was diagnosed with ADHD, learning disability, slight autism, and I just didn't fit into the class when the teacher was teaching and talking. I was dreaming. I was physically here, but mentally I was just sitting there dreaming. And then when the teacher said, "Lucas, what's the answer?" I got called out, and yeah, then the teacher told me I shouldn't do this anymore. So it was a pretty rough beginning, I would say, and this rough beginning was the start into my life, and I and a time ago I used this story, this beginning, as I was defined by that story,
Mm-hmm.
and I defined myself with these weaknesses that I am not understood, that I am not loved, that I am not strong. So I always walked around with this story that I am not enough, that I am not loved, that I am not strong. And I went on with this through my whole life. I went on through special school. I was from 9 until 16. I'm now 20 years old. I was in a special school, and then I got into an apprenticeship that was for me like hell. I mean, I didn't want to work there. It was
Yeah.
just absolute hell. And then one day I was driving in the bus, from work to home, and I had my phone in my hand. I was driving in the bus. It was dark outside, 5 p.m. It was, I think, winter. And then I suddenly saw a podcast from Arnold Schwarzenegger, the
Yeah.
the I'll be back man. and 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 I saw that, and then I clicked on it, and then he started talking about, you gotta have a dream, you gotta have a goal, don't listen to the naysayers. And then he also talked about the naysayers telling him that he would be rather playing a monster in a movie because of his bodybuilder size than doing other movies, and and that he uh, then the producers called him Arnold Schwarzenegger and all that stuff
Yeah.
instead of Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he talked about not letting other people's opinions influence what you want. So I went home, I deleted all of my video games. I told my parents I'm gonna change my life. I was 17 at that moment. And then I said, okay, now I'm gonna become a bodybuilder. Now my goal today is not anymore to become a bodybuilder. um, from this day on, I had a purpose. I was different. Every day I got up. Not every day was a happy day, but every day I got up with a sense of belonging and certainty that there is more than what I have.
You had made a decision, right? You made a decision when you saw that video. It sparked
Yeah,
something in you to say, let me start my new story,
yes,
right? And you started
absolutely.
to take charge of yourself. And when you did that, you started shifting, from what I see, your your story from everything that happened in the past. You sort of like let that go. And you're like,
Yeah,
I'm going to create
absolutely.
my story. So let's talk about your new story. How did you start your new story?
Yeah, yeah. First of all, I want I before I talk about my story, I want to talk about the concept of story itself, because we are a book. Metaphorically seen, we are a book, and I have the book here. We can take the book. This is now Think and Grow Rich. We can take it here, write in here, but we can always turn over the page, write chapter two, abundance and prosperity and freedom, and then we can start writing our own chapter new. We can do that every single moment. And my story continued not with success. It continued with that I a year later in 2021, there I was 18 years old, I think. And there I decided to not keep doing my apprenticeship. So I finished the first stage, and then my parents wanted me to continue the second stage, but I didn't want to do that. So I said no, I will not do that. And of course that started a whole conflict of
Mm-hmm.
you should do that, this is what you should do, and so on. And I felt wrong, to be honest. I felt kind of wrong and uncertain, but there still was an inner feeling within me. I have this feeling always here, this feeling here, that I am on the right path. And here it started. I every day. then it started every month. My debt started collecting, and I got bills, and every single thing that I imagined that could happen, that is poverty, started manifesting. So every single day, I started developing a depression on myself. I got up with the thoughts of, bills, mm, I don't want to work. So I started drifting. For those
Mm-hmm.
who don't know what drifting is when you have no goal and you start drifting around like a car with no aim. And this continued for a year. And then after that year, I think it was in summer 2002, if I'm not wrong. There I was on my knees at around 11 p.m. at night. I was praying with my hands together, looking up to the skies, and I was crying. I wanted to take my own life. I didn't want to do this stuff anymore. There I thought, I don't want to be in this damn misery anymore. I hate it. So I prayed, and around a week or 2 weeks later, I found I went to a website from Bob Proctor and saw there Cleona O'Hara, and there I saw her picture like laughing like this, and I thought, man, I want her to be my mentor. And then I booked full her whole calendar. And then she wrote me a message, Lucas, stop messaging me that lot of messages. My calendar is not supposed to be used like that. Stop it. And then uh, I said, okay, I'm sorry, I stopped it. And the same day, I think at around 7:30 p.m., I got a coaching call with her, and there the journey began. A different journey began there. I started getting on path. I started to know what I want. And in the same year, then I got homeless 3 times. Uh, one time when I was homeless, I ate one handful of dry oats and about one fruit a day in a homeless shelter, which was in a foreign country, and I had no citizenship in there. I could get no job. I had no contacts in there and no money. So I was there in the homeless shelter, also completely destroyed. And then after I got homeless 3 times, um, I was in a hospital lobby crying because I have no home. Now for me it was so big, so bad for me to be so miserable to be in this toilet there, shut away from the public, and I wanted, and I had no home, nothing. And I thought, man, how am I gonna be sleeping tonight when it's -degrees outside, when it's snowing outside? Then I had a call with my father, and then he took me home to himself, and now I have written a book, a poetry book, and I am becoming an Agile coach, and I know what I want, and I have a goal to make that happen.
So you mentioned
Yeah.
before you were a drifter, right? How did you know you were a drifter?
Yes.
What made you now realize that what was going on is called a drifter?
Hmm.
Because
Yeah.
you know we we
That's a
we
good
study
question.
that,
Yeah.
right? But how did,
Yes.
if you did not study this work that we study with Napoleon Hill's teachings,
Hmm.
how do you know that was a drifter? Would you have known that you were drifting? Is actually the essential
Yeah.
question. Would you have known that you were drifting?
So when yeah, drifting, I knew I was at that moment. I didn't know I was drifting. At that moment, I thought I was just doing what is right,
Hmm.
and not, and that was not taking on a job. So now I know I was drifting because I had no goal. I had no goal of any kind. I knew I wanted to create a company, but I didn't know when it was going to happen, and I didn't have a measurable goal. I didn't have a picture in my mind, a clear mental picture of what I want. I didn't, I did not have that. And this is so important because today in school, as an example, children go in there full of imagination, full of possibilities, full of potential. They go in there, they want to learn, they want to know, they want to be better. They are so curious what life has for them and how they can give to others. And then comes the school system who suppresses all that, puts it in a box and shuts it away and makes them industrial workers,
So let's
and
hold
they have
on.
no goal. Oh
So
yeah,
as an
of course.
educator myself, I can relate to what you're saying. Even your
Yes.
story of what you've been through, at the beginning where you wanted to express yourself, but you were labeled so many different things: ADHD, you
Yes.
were labeled, slight autism. So I've learned now that when you put labels on anyone, you actually restrict them, right? So you say, okay, I
Yeah.
have ADHD, that means I can't do this or I can't do that. Or so I can totally
Yeah.
relate how you felt lost. You felt like no
Mm.
one wanted to listen to you, right? And we know
Yeah.
now, I mean, that those experiences, if you don't take control of that story, it will become your life story. It will become your destiny. So, first, I am so proud of you. So proud of you that you have taken
Thank you.
control of your destiny, and you had, from your story, you've demonstrated how no matter what happened in the past, you're going to commit to yourself that you don't want that anymore, right? And you've made a
Yeah.
decision, but you went within. You ask the universe, ask God, whatever you want to call it. You ask the higher power to lead you to a better way. And when you ask, you open up that door to receive. So your faith,
Yeah.
there has to be, even
Yes.
at your worst times, your faith had to be your strength to begin to change your story. We're going to play a quick commercial. I'm going to come right back, and then we're going to talk about your shift. Okay? So we'll be right back, everyone. Stay tuned.
Let's go. All right.
Now, the vast majority, approximately 95% of the people of all countries, go around and around without aim or purpose. They drift with the circumstances of life, good or bad.
A drifter is one who permits himself to be influenced and controlled by circumstances outside of his own mind.
Whereas the successful individuals create their own circumstances and ride them to victory.
When you're on purpose, you're living on purpose. You will never quit if you have a real purpose.
A burning desire to be and to do is the starting point from which the dreamer must take off. But what I have done has been recorded, it's been tested, it's being taken to a free world, and it's going to benefit millions of people who are not yet born.
And it's going to benefit millions of people who are not yet born. We're some of those people that we're spreading this to the world. As your awareness grows, the doubt is gone so that you can manifest whatever it is your heart desires. Isn't that beautiful?
So now I think the word drifter is clear to the audience because, like you mentioned before, when we drift, we don't have a direction. We're all over the place. We don't know where we're going.
Yes.
And when we don't know where we're going, we're full of fear, doubt, worry. And that will manifest into illnesses in the body and where we just fall into depression, like you said before. But you had the opportunity to take control of your life. You didn't accept what was going outside of you as this is it, I'm done. You took control of it. So let's talk about how you took control and you started shifting your mindset and what you were thinking, because everything starts with a thought. Everything. Thoughts are things.
Yes.
So you started
Yes.
to delve into, you connected with Cleona, and let's take it from there.
Yes. So I started realizing that I was constantly focusing on what I didn't want. I was focusing on the bills. I was focusing on the debt. I was focusing on everything that I didn't want. And so Cleona told me, well, if you want different results, you have to think different thoughts. And when I say think different thoughts, thought is a substance that we can think with, that we can create something with. Like we shape clay with our hands. The clay represents the thoughts. And I started thinking different thoughts with affirmations. I started standing in front of the mirror in the morning and started affirming to myself, I am wealthy. I am prosperous. Money flows to me in overflow. And all of these affirmations. And it started getting better. Getting better. Now, this took for me 30 days there then to manifest a job. 30 days. After these 30 days, I got off track again because I stopped doing the work. Now, this is so important. This is the mistake that I made there and that I learned from. That is so important. This was such a gift. Because you can, when you do the work, one time, when I did the work, I had results but then I stopped doing it. So it went back to the old again. The weeds grew up again
Mm-hmm.
and have hidden all the flowers. So then after this period of homelessness, I started doing the work again with the help of the master coach Kiara Sharp. She is also in the Napoleon Hill Institute. And I started doing these affirmations again. And what started to happen? I started getting, first of all, I got this invitation here from my friend Giovanna for this wonderful podcast. I got a different invitation for a podcast. I started getting opportunities. Now I'm not saying this to impress others, but I'm saying this to impress upon the audience that when you do the with it, build on the results that you have. Because the more you do the work, the more results you will have. And the more results you will have, the more belief you will have. Because the more evidence you will have.
Right.
And this builds your belief, and belief is key.
Right. Now I know we do a lot of work with, building confidence, right? Because it all starts with confidence. And unfortunately, what you went through, you've lost your confidence, but you made a decision. You created goals. Like you have a purpose now. There's no, you never need to go look back again because you've defined what you're here to do, what you love to do, and you are focused. You're focused on seeing the results of the changes you want to make, not only in yourself, but you're going to impact the world. What you want to do is really change the way students are being looked at in school. You want to open up more opportunities for them so they can truly discover their gifts and go after what they're going to love to do versus what they are told to do. And when we know this, when you go after, when you have a labor of love for whatever it is you're doing, it doesn't feel like work, right? It's fun. It's fun.
That's
So
true.
let's talk about that. Like,
Yeah.
share with us your vision. Like, where do you see yourself? Share your goal and what you're doing to work towards that. Because I know it takes being persistent. We know, not that I know, we know it takes being persistent, having a positive mental attitude, right? Never, never look on the outside, right? Work from the inside out because that's where your faith is. So I'll let you continue because you have just a great story.
Thank you.
And I can see it's a success. But go ahead.
Thank you.
So let's
So,
start with I'll leave it up
so
to you.
what my vision,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So what my vision is to change the school system. My vision is to let children flourish. My vision is to take these seeds of the future, plant them, and let them be free flowers, free trees, grass, whatever they want to be. Just let them grow. This is my goal because this is what we are made for. We are made to plant ourselves in fruitable and fertile soil and let it nourish us, and let this nourishment that we have within our hearts, let this grow and light up the world, light up ourselves, that we are happy, that we are free, and that
Mhm.
others are free, and that we can help others. This is my vision.
Mhm. That's
Yeah,
beautiful. Well, it definitely will change the way the school system is doing things for sure. Just being an educator, I know that we don't allow a lot of imaginary play, if you may, especially in the upper grades, right? So the kids become
mhm,
restricted basically. So I do understand,
yeah,
adding on a curriculum that will help them to really discover their passion and their purpose early in life,
yeah,
because when we do discover that early in life, then there's less of struggles of not knowing what
yeah,
to do, less drifters in the world, as we say, right? So give us some experiences that you've had where you now taken that step to personal development. What have you done to grow and
mm,
your level of awareness, right, on what I will say the universal laws that you've pretty much implemented,
yeah.
right?
So in my case, I call it God. I mean, you can call it universe, Buddha, Allah, whatever
Mm-hmm.
you wanna call it. God presented me with the um, best worst opportunity that I got homeless. So in that, for me, the key word here is experience. I was put into an experience. I was basically thrown out of the nest, and I had to develop my wings as I was falling. So my gift, I was gifted with the blessing of being thrown out of the nest, and then I had to develop my wings to fly. And if you now, I'm not suggesting to intentionally go homeless. This is not what I'm saying.
Right.
What I'm saying is put yourself in experiences that make you grow, that are that challenge you. Not too much, because otherwise you will destroy yourself with burnout and so on. But just a little bit more, just 1%, 10% more, and
Get
then
out of
you
your
will
comfort
grow.
zone. Right. To get out of
Yeah,
your comfort zone is
exactly,
what you're saying, right? Take a little risk.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And in these experiences, you will most of the time not know what to do. But exactly this is the thing that will make you grow. You don't know what to do, but you will always know the next right step. If you're in a forest full of fog, you can't see out of the forest,
Right.
but you see your next step, and you learn to trust yourself and God, what the next step is.
Absolutely. And you go through that by studying though, right? You need to study
Yeah,
every day on the potential. I mean, we have lots of potential that is stored within us, but the secrets of how to it's not even how to, but to give us that confidence is through studying. You know, most of the time as a
Yeah.
teacher, we study a subject matter, we take a test, and it's done. Book goes away.
Yeah.
But now we learn that that is absolutely not the case. Even if we take, you know, Bob used to talk about the book Think and Grow Rich. He studied it for 60 years. Every
Yeah.
day he studied that book. Why? Because what you said before was very important. You lost that connection. You know, you had great results. Then you stop studying, stop applying what you've learned, and you went back again. So it's so easy for us to get lost because there's so much noise going on outside of us that we can easily become influenced and lose track of our goal, lose track of our purpose. You know, I didn't know for many years. I never thought of even having a mentor or a coach. Didn't even that language was not part of my life. Now it's part of me. It's part of me because I know it's easy to get lost and not, you know, and lose sight of our purpose or in the goals that we have, because not everyone believes in the goals you have. It's only you who needs to believe it.
Yeah.
So,
That's right.
right. So when you get out of your comfort zone and you do things that no one else has done, more than likely you're not going to have many people cheering you on until you are successful. Right? Until
Yeah.
they're like, wow, look at all the great things he or she has done. But so, how do you stay focused, Lucas? How do you stay focused? Because now you have a goal, you have a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do to stay focused and be on track?
Mm-hmm. So, first of all, losing our focus for a moment is absolutely okay. This is
Mm-hmm.
human. This is absolutely normal. Not even the richest man on the earth can always every second have perfect focus. What I do when I lose focus for a moment, I think of the picture that I want. I think of what I want, and this is a mental picture.
Mm-hmm.
And to this picture is connected a lot of emotion. And when I think of that picture, and I think also of the music that I was playing when I do my affirmations in my mind, then I get back on track because my emotion changes, my vibration changes, and then I think different. I think and feel different. And when I have time, so this is what I do when I'm at work, when I can take out my phone and do my affirmations, then I'm just doing it in my mind. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
visualizing while I do the work, while I'm working at my job. And when I am not at my job, I listen to my affirmations. I go do something that I love, like going hiking into the forest and just letting my inner child out, just playing in nature, even if it looks goofy, I don't care.
Right, right.
I mean, just play and get into a joyful vibration, into a feeling.
So it's a matter of shifting those emotions, right, from low vibration to
Yeah,
high. And when
correct.
you do that, you start to actually attract better things into your life. You know,
Yeah,
situations or people. You know, you're becoming a magnet, right? When you're in a high vibration, you're becoming like a magnet where ideas come to you or people come to you. But that takes training, right? You trained yourself to do that. You're building new habits, right? And you are, our subconscious mind has all the programs, good and bad. And I studied Dr. Bruce Lipton, and he talks about, 95, and it's all over the internet, but 95% of what we do every day, we're on autopilot. So by
Yeah.
you studying and doing the affirmations, what you're doing is you're creating new habits, essentially new beliefs about yourself,
Yeah.
right? And that creates the new thinking. So the new thinking creates the new feelings. The new feelings create new actions, which give you the results that you're looking for. There's a formula to this. And,
Yeah.
knowing what the formula is and practicing it is what's going to get you success. I forget who said it. You can't solve problems with the same mind that created it. And if you want different results,
Albert Einstein, I think.
thank you. That's right. Somebody said it. But yeah,
You're
right?
welcome.
But it really
Yeah.
comes down to doing something different, changing the way we're thinking.
Yes.
Creating, if we want to see something different, we have to do something different. And that is exactly what you did. You didn't like
Yes.
what you
And
saw.
yeah.
From a video of Arnold Schwarzenegger, you just said, that's it. So
Yes.
you made a decision. And the decision is the starting
Yes.
point of everything, right?
Yes. And if I may add to that, when let's take the metaphor that one is digging a hole. He has the shovel, he digs a hole, digs himself down. Now, you can't expect to go up when you keep digging down. You have to stop digging and you have to dig your way up. So, in order to change the direction in one's life, one must change the direction of one's focus, thoughts, and actions.
Of course. So speak to the viewers, the younger viewers right now. What message can you give to them? Because I know as an educator, there are a lot of children out there, young adults,
Yeah.
who are struggling to find their purpose. They're struggling to see the best version of themselves.
Yeah.
What advice can you give them?
When I was a teenager, I felt very lost. And maybe you feel that way. If you feel lost, if you feel there is more for you, or you feel that you feel buried by what you hate, by what you don't want, by other people's opinions, by the bullies that you have in your life, by the opinions of your parents. I'm not saying they're bad, but just you feel buried by them. Don't hurry. Don't hurry to don't let that pressure crush you just because you think you need to have it all figured out now. Don't do that. This once crushed me. Don't let it crush you. What I suggest you is do what you love. Be playful. Be in moments that make you feel joyful. Be in moments that in which you feel loved, in which you feel creative, in which you feel timeless, in which you feel that time doesn't even exist. And in these moments, you find what you are supposed to do. Because every one of us has something within that God once put in us and now wants us to express. So be in these joyful, loving moments and find what you are supposed to do on this earth, what your labor of love is, what you love doing
That's so beautiful,
patiently.
so beautiful. And for the ones that are um, losing hope, right?
Mhm.
Because I in my heart I feel there is many um, young adults out there who do feel lost, who do feel lost,
Yeah,
and they're not connected um, to a higher power. They don't believe that there's a God. They don't believe there's the universe, because they haven't been taught that. They haven't been taught
yeah.
that. What is your experience when you've made that connection that opened up the doors for you? How did that feel, and what did you do
Mhm.
to get reconnected? Because I know you always believed in God, but you got reconnected.
Mhm.
How did you do that, and what were the results of that?
Yeah, my mhm. my from my experience, I when I when I was suicidal, when I wanted to take my life, I thought about that constantly. And and I searched on Google on ways to do that, and I was miserable. I felt the pain, and one one time, once there came an inspiration to me and question: what if this is exactly where I'm supposed to be? What if I am exactly at the right place at the right time right now? What if this is exactly the plan? Let's say you don't believe in a higher power. Let's just say this is a moment of pain. You feel it and it is real. It is not not some let's say construct or some lie you make up. It is real and it is real. How can you make that moment to your strength? How can you turn this moment into your strength? Pink, this is a band. or I think a woman who sings, and the name Pink came from one of her greatest pains, and that is that she once was in school, and her underwear got pulled down, and then the other boys um make that at her and said, she's pink, she's pink, she's pink, because her face was red. And she felt shame about that so long until she decided to make that her strength. So she gave herself the artist name Pink. And now she is one of the greatest singers on earth. She has she has millions, maybe even hundreds of millions of followers that love her music just because she shared her pain. Now, what is your greatest pain? And how can you gently, without beating yourself up, without being hard on yourself, how can you gently turn that around, or take that pain and make it to your greatest strength?
That's beautiful, because we learned that for every adversity, struggle, challenges, there is a seed of equivalent benefit, right? What does that mean? That you're
Yes.
not going through this hardship for no reason. And every experience,
Yeah.
like you said, it's a lesson for us to learn. But if you embrace that experience, you can turn that into your strength. I love that. That was very beautifully said.
Yeah.
As a final advice to people who are still trying to find their passion and their purpose, right? And create, we're going into 2024, setting new goals. What is
Yeah.
3 tips you can give someone to begin to really focus on themselves? Because that's what you did,
Three
Lucas.
tips.
You began to focus on yourself.
Yeah. First of all, know that what you resist, that persists and gets stronger. So everything that you say right now, I hate, say, I hate my parents, I hate my teachers, I hate my life, whatever it is that you hate, even if it may be difficult in the beginning, which is normal, write down what you're grateful for.
So step 1, he said, write down what you're grateful for. Look at the things that you're grateful for in your life and begin to write down 10 things that you're grateful for every day. And step 2,
And hello,
yes, I got you, Lucas.
can
We
you
can
can you hear me?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, okay.
Step.
So so the first step is write down what you're grateful for, and the second step is write down what you want. This is so important. Write down what you want, whatever it is. I mean, it can be anything. Anything. If you couldn't fail, what would you dream? what would you want if you knew you couldn't fail? It would be impossible to fail. What would you want? And third, don't listen to the naysayers. Don't listen to the people who say no. No matter if it is a relative, no matter if it is a friend, if it is a parent or someone from school, even if it is yourself who's telling you you can't. If you really want it and you love your goal, make it happen.
That's right. So that's beautiful. And I'll add to that 3 more. Take action, right? Surround yourself with people who bring you forward, who support your goal, right? And always study. Always study. Do not lose focus. To stay focused, you must study. And this is Lucas, you've been amazing today. I appreciate you for coming on and sharing your story. I can't wait to bring you back on again, because you're going to be an idol to so many people are going to look up to you for what you're doing. So this is a great honor to have you here today. And for anyone who wants to contact Lucas, how can they contact you if they want to contact you?
You can. I have an event coming up this week from December 22nd until December 23rd. It is free. You can come there, and it is specific. I made it specifically for children and teenagers. So if you are a parent, you have a child, and you think it might help some guidance from me, then send it to them. I think you have the link, Giovanna.
Yes, I'm going to share that on my social media. Maybe do a little post with all the information that they can sign up and join you. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining Sparking Change with Gigi today, and I will see you next week. Happy holidays to everyone. If you're going away and we don't see you, thank you so much, and wishing you and your families the very best this holiday season. Thank you, Lucas.
Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Happy New Year's. Happy holidays. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you for joining me on Sparking Change with Gigi. I hope that our episode today has ignited a spark within you to create positive change in your own life and in the world around you. To learn more about how you can become a guest or supporter, head over to sparkingchangenow.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing, sharing, and leaving a review. Your feedback is incredibly valuable to me, and it helps me to continue producing content that sparks change in each of us and the world. You can find us on various platforms, including Google Play Store, Apple App Store, YouTube, Facebook, Roku, Android TV, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you again for watching, and I look forward to having you join me again next week on Sparking Change with Gigi.